Well, technically, I think I'm supposed to start with a scoop loop. Does everybody know what a scoop loop is? Yeah? Okay, so scoop loop, we're gonna throw off the left-hand side of the calf, right? We wanna dip our rope underneath our right stirrup. You really wanna put a little English on that thing to get the tip out in front. You want it to hit and figure eight on the other side of the dummy. And this, for me personally, is I throw it moving. Like I need the calf moving to accomplish this, right? So that was a little left or a little right of where I needed it to be. Typically, I would want my tip out in front of that nose a little further in order for it to hit in figure eight. But again, I like them moving. Good, this is gonna be a long class, boys. All right, so the general idea for the scoop loop is it is going to mirror the sidearm, correct? So I'm gonna be honest with you guys, when it comes to the fancy shots, this is not one I'm gonna use often. Reason being is I just like other options. I'm more consistent at other shots, which hopefully you'll see here in just a minute. That would be a good scoop loop, right? Hit, figure eight, they can slip through it really easily. Another shot I can throw from this side of the calf, and this actually does come in handy a little bit in the Brandon trap, would be a turnover. A forehand turnover from this side. The whole idea here is I want to throw it high because I would be throwing over a cow. Like that's the practical use for this shot, is if this calf is mothered up in the trap and his mama's standing right here and I want to catch him. And that might sound crazy, but I've seen guys do it all over the country. It's pretty cool. So, but you got to throw it high to get it over the cow, and you got to give your rope room to turn over. I call it turnover room. So you're not going to throw it right at his head, because if you throw it right at his head, it's going to end left and you're going to miss. So you got to throw it over his back. The key to this shot is the angle in which you swing and then the way you deliver it. So the delivery there, Lord have mercy.
This video is brought to you by 310edu.com. 310edu is a collection of instructional videos designed to make you a better horseman, stockman, and all-around roper. We have in-depth tutorials on doctoring cattle, branding cattle, and pretty much anything you can think of that's going to make you a better cowhand. Our monthly membership is $25 and our yearly membership is $240, but if you use code YouTube50, it'll be 50% off the entire life of your membership. So save hundreds of dollars and learn tons of new techniques, tips, and tricks on how to be a better roper and stockman. Guys, thank you so much for supporting the YouTube channel and the clinics. If you want to sign up for my next clinic, you can see the schedule at 310edu.com. Go get registered for the one coming to your state. Give me a subscribe here on YouTube, and we'll see you in the next video.
The delivery there is going to be straight up in the air, okay? We're going to throw that rope straight up, and the angle of it is what's going to make it turn over. Let's try again. That felt terrible. That makes sense, right? You got to be quick on your slack. It's not going to figure eight, but we're here behind our head. It's going to feel uncomfortable for your shoulder, and then it's straight up, not this. We call that washing it out, okay? We don't want to do that. Another angle to this, which a lot of you might have heard, I call it, this would be the Johnny Blocker version of this, okay? So that to me is just a forehand turnover headshot. The Johnny Blocker is like lower and faster. And you would throw it from this side, like if the calf's rolling out in front of you, and it would be like that. That makes sense? So I use that shot primarily, like if I'm setting it up in a Brandon trap or something, and this actually does come in handy sometimes. But let's say you approach the herd and that calf goes to run by me on that side, right? Now I could try sidearm, but my horse's butt's gonna be in the way. Or I can just roll that turnover out there as he comes running by. Does that make sense? Okay. So from there, this one is wildly unpractical, but really cool. This is called a backhand turnover. This is one of the few shots you're gonna be able to throw on the off side of your horse. So if a calf is traveling in front of you from left to, or from right to left, right? Down the side like I'm parallel to him. I can swing that backhand on this side of my horse and kind of hide that loop a little bit and then just roll it out there, right? Not super practical. Not throwing that a bunch unless you're just trying to just do cool stuff. Which, hey, like once you get to a spot where like you can handle yourself, it's just fun to do cool stuff. Like that's the thing. So you can throw it on the on side as well, which would be thrown from here, right? So if the calf's walking in front of you or walking in front of the herd, makes sense? So from there, I personally don't throw a Dale headshot, a Del Viento. I'd throw one of those other options. I just don't like it. I don't like the way it lands so open, and I can't pick my slack up because I use a really big loop for it. You can, and I'm going to show you the hip shot, but that's what I use it for, is a hip shot. Okay, so from there, if we transfer to the heel side, this is where the turnovers to me really have an impact. They really have a purpose for me. And the reason why is when we're talking about getting standing shots with yearlings or in a roping or whatever, you can deliver all of those turnovers that I just showed from in front of the drive line, okay? So the idea for a 3-man team that we would have here, if we slow this critter down and I approach from here and I have a forehand turnover and my third man approaches from here and they have a backhand turnover, I can keep that calf sucked back on that rope and never have to move my horse, right? Whereas if I'm gonna drift in and throw a karate chop, I'm gonna drift down here into position to throw that karate chop, and I just opened a giant hole for that cow to run through. That makes sense? This is where you get that whirly burden bullcrap that nobody likes to do, you know? So the whole idea with this, especially in the 3-mans, is if I can approach from here and throw a forehand turnover hip shot, I don't ever have to go on the other side of the drive line. So now all I would do is ride to his hip, disengage my horse's butt, and now he's got a hole to leave in, and we pick up too. Does that make sense? Yeah? Same way with the backhand turnover. Except for you're just gonna be on the other side. So we would be from here. Right? Cool? Okay. I'm gonna show you 2 more. And these are the fanciest of the fancy. We can go back to hula hands and backhands and all the things. These are just the only ones I haven't showed today. So the Del Viento is another one that's pretty neat. It's gonna be a hip shot. And I'm typically standing, I'm gonna throw it from here. This is my spot. Pretty much my horse's head's gonna be even with that calf's hip. We're gonna get it out there and get it rotating and bring it back in. That makes sense? You can also, wildly more challenging, throw it from back here with the calf moving, which is pretty cool. So they'd be getting drug along at a Brandon. You really gotta lead them, like a lot. Like you're gonna feel like you're necking the thing. But if the header's pulling, you're good to go. This needs to blow in more, obviously, but it's a much more difficult shot. And I probably caught that 3 times in my whole life. But when I go to Brandon's, like, I'm all about throwing turnover headshots, but jacking around heeling is not my thing. I don't like doing that. So I just want to get them healed. I don't like them being necked for long. Now, turnover headshots are cool because if you miss, who cares, you know? So the last one I'm going to show you is called a Contra. This is the hardest one out of all of them for sure. And this is almost never usable unless you're in a wolfy game of pig. This will kill a guy in pig. So it is the mirroring shot to the Dale. It's going to be swung backhand, but it's going to do exactly what a Dale does. Does that make sense? If you're throwing it horseback, your horse is obviously going to be facing the wrong way. It's just a mess, it really is what it is. I have caught that a few times on a calf and got chastised heavily in the great state of Texas for that, but it's neither here nor there.